What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode. So today I have Simon Gooden with myself, and Simon, if you want to talk about a little bit about yourself, who you are, and kind of a bit about your background.
So my name's Simon Gooden. I run the business 70/30 Fitness, which is 70% nutrition, 30% workout, and I'm an online coach, personal trainer, and that's what I do for a living now. Yeah, crazy.
So, going back to sort of PT, how long have you been sort of in the fitness industry as a PT, and also how long have you been competing for?
So in PT, I've been doing that for about 2 years. I've been competing since about 2016. So where does that put us? 2016, 17, 18. Well, nearly 3 years. So yeah, I've done 11 shows. Which, you learn something from every show. So I think that's a good takeaway from doing plenty of shows. So after that was more a online coaching based thing, and I've been doing that since for also 2 years as well.
So what made you get into personal? We'll start with personal training first. So what made you get into sort of PT first, and what did you do before?
So before that, I was a fireman. I left school with my GCSEs and A-levels, went travelling for 13 months. I went travelling on a ship, which was awesome, really cool experience. We went all around Asia, and I kept training whilst I was there. Luckily, we had a gym on the ship. And then when I came back, I went straight into the fire service. I wanted to go into the fire service before I left sixth form school, but I applied and then didn't get in. So then that was my kind of opportunity. I was like, okay, I'll go travelling instead. Then after I came back, I got straight in and I was buzzing. In the free time that I had in the fire service, that's when I started looking into the personal training side of things. I was already kind of training people, but not as like a personal trainer. It was more like, training with your buddy and things like that. I was training one of the guys who runs a supplement company in my area, and I was getting free supplements. So I was like, training for supplements, why not? And then after that, I kind of looked a little bit deeper into it and started picking up on the personal training courses, adding more qualifications. And then it became a point where I was doing all three: online coaching, fire service, and personal training. And I had to take a step back and look at the whole thing. I was just like, I could probably make more money doing my own business rather than being in the fire service as well. If there's anybody thinking of going into online coaching or personal training, I would say do it when you have another job, and then as your business takes over and you can sack this job off, then do it like that. It's a lot safer. And although there's lots of motivational speeches out there that say, go crush your dream, go do all this, and it's like, that's great, but you've also got to be realistic with your goal as well, and you can't set yourself up to fail. So yeah, then the fire service, it came to the point where I was earning enough, so I was like, okay, I'll take that down. Then I was able to add more clients, more online clients and things, and just snowballed from there.
Yeah, spot on, mate. And I think what you said there about, don't jump straight into it, because with different gyms as well, there's completely different, some you have to pay a certain amount of rent, others you have to give up time. So if you're suddenly having to go, you're a PT and you join a gym, and you have to pay £500 a month, you have no clients,
exactly.
You're always going to be, you're going to be in a deficit for about 3 months money-wise. Yeah. What point was it that you realised that, how far into sort of personal training, online coaching were you, when you realise, okay, I'm going to drop off the sort of fire service? What point was that?
Well, I mean, there had been points where I'd gone to other gyms, I'd had interviews, and they'd said, okay, this is brilliant, we'd like to take you on, this is our scheme. And I looked at it, and each time I was just like, you're just benefiting more than me, every single time. I had clients already who I was training, at their homes, in private gyms and things. I'm going to be bringing people to you. So it kind of, every time it just felt like I was being played a little bit. And I was like, I didn't really like that. So it got to the point where I think monthly my earnings were more than the fire service, and I was just like, it just makes sense, like whatever I'd be able to earn in the fire service, because a lot of people just have that as their own job.
Yeah.
But I was just like, it just makes sense for me to go on from that and just. And I spoke to family and friends about it, and they were like, look, if you think you can do it, do it now, like rather than wait, and then you got all these responsibilities like children, family, and stuff. It's better to take the risk now and then maybe reap the rewards. And I did. So.
Did going like completely self-employed? Did that kind of scare you to begin with? Were the
Oh
first few
yeah,
months
man,
tough,
yeah.
or?
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me at the beginning was, will I have the motivation to do it? Like, because when you're in work and you've got someone breathing down your neck, like, you just have to work. But then I was thinking, if I'm my own boss, am I going to have the motivation to do it? And, like, I've never struggled with motivation. Like, my clients get brilliant results and they come back with brilliant feedback. And what more motivation can you want from that,
No, spot on, man, spot on. Let's just like turn the table a little bit. So onto competing. So, so you competed in 2016. Firstly, what was that show, and what made you want to do that show? What made you want to get into competing?
So the first show I did was UK DFBA, and that was a men's physique show. It was the Southern qualifier, Southern County, whatever they call it, and that was the first show that I did. The motivation for it. Well, the thing is, by that time I had done quite a few photo shoots, and the very first photo shoot I did was with Terry George. He's for naturalfitnessmodels.com. We went for the shoot, and when I was in the shoot, he's like, "Do you compete?" I was like, "No, I couldn't compete. I don't have the size for it." And he's like, "You do. You could do men's physique." So then I was thinking about it. That like kind of planted a seed in my mind. And I just thought about it, but I kind of palmed it off. And then as I was training and I started putting more stuff up on social media, more and more people were approaching me saying, "Do you compete? You should compete," all this kind of stuff. And then I think it was Jeff Side did a men's physique show, and I was like, yeah, I'd quite like to do that. Like, so I went onto Google, literally typed in natural bodybuilding federations and found UK DFBA and men's physique, and I just clicked on it and just signed straight up without really taking too much thought about it. And then I think my prep for that show was literally 10 weeks. And like, I know the majority of the time that I spent like in my younger days was pretty lean. Like, I didn't really have much opportunity to put on muscle mass, but I was very lean. So I could do that, but for the majority of people, I would say don't do a 10-week prep. And I went on to bodybuilding.com's forums and typed in.
Don't say the macros.
No. I typed in bodybuilding diet or something like that, or bodybuilder competition diet, and it came up. And I just followed that for 10 weeks. And I got in really good shape, but I was like I was pretty much doing keto for like a few weeks. And then I like carb loaded, and this is all on my YouTube channel, but I carb loaded and I just looked fucking stupidly big compared to what I normally would, because obviously I've been so depleted and then filled out. I'm not allowed to swear on here, am I?
No, that's cool, that's calm.
Okay. So I just filled out tons, and then I stepped on stage. I took second against Kieran Kiev, who then went on and won Worlds. But in that show, second didn't take a invitation to Worlds, so I was gutted. So then, because of that, I competed again the next year, and then went to Worlds, and then took third in Worlds, not Worlds, UK Championships. Yeah.
That's sick, man. That's sick. So for the very first show that you did, so I'm guessing you didn't have a coach.
No.
When you did it, and completely just went head in first.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had a coach or?
Last year was the first year I've ever had a coach. I was coached with Team Condition Army, by Ollie Carson, which was like super good prep. Like that was probably the easiest prep I've ever had. Just because you don't have to overthink stuff, you're not second guessing yourself. You look at your macros, you hit your macros, you're done. It's so much simpler than looking at yourself in the mirror, being like, maybe I should drop carbs a little bit more. Like maybe I should up my cardio a little bit more. Maybe I'm not coming in quite good. You overthink stuff a lot if you're not being coached. So yeah, like I definitely see the benefits of having a coach. But I haven't got a coach in my off season. I'm just doing that myself, really.
So your prep with Ollie, how was that different? So you said that was last year, so that would mean 2017. How was that different to what you did in 2016? Like how much did you kind of improve, and what did you kind of learn from that?
Well, for my first show, 2015, I followed just what I found on the internet, and I just followed that. Then from 2016, I was following macros, but I was eating very, very clean. I was just eating everything very, very clean. I got to my show, did very well and all that, and then afterwards, my food focus was very high. Then in this show last year, I did how many shows? I did UK DFBA twice. I did UK UP twice, PCA. So I did 6 shows last year, and there was no point where I came off a show and was like, okay, I need to binge, or okay, I'm really, really craving something, because I took such a flexible approach that it was stupid. But at the beginning of my prep, I set myself, I was like, look, I'm just going to prove everybody wrong about sugar. And I just had copious amounts of sugar. It was kind of stupid, but I had the macros for it. I was still prepping on like 3,000 calories, so yeah, it was it was quite envious for a lot of other my competitors, but yeah.
Yeah, because they're probably looking at you and thinking, what the fuck, like, how on earth has he got this shape, and what is
it was that year that I created flex balls, which if anyone follows me on Instagram, they probably know what they are.
The OGs.
Yeah.
So that leads us on to nutrition, actually. So let's go with your approach at the moment. I know you're in off-season, but prep as well. Like, what's your approach to your nutrition? That will link nicely with your kind of brand name, like how you came up with that. So if you just want to talk about.
So this all started about 4 years ago when I first started my Instagram page. I saw this little picture that was on the internet of an iceberg, and they had the top of the iceberg was 30%, and that was your workout, and then the bottom of the iceberg was 70%, and that was your nutrition. So I basically saw that, I was like, I like that, I really like that. So I turned that into my business, which is where I say to people it's 70% nutrition, 30% workout. Because when you're in prep, when you're in your off season, your training shouldn't really change that much. Like you're still aiming to hit progressive overload, to hold on to the muscle when you're in your prep, and to gain the muscle when you're in your off season. You will still gain a little bit in your prep as well, but different matter. A very long topic. So that's kind of where the 70-30 came from. But then I kind of took that and put that into all aspects of my approach. So in my training, I do 70% compounds and then do the 30% isolations and fluff work at the end. And then my nutrition, I do 70% quote unquote clean food and then 30% the fun stuff. And then so I've kind of used that model with pretty much everything which I do. Also business stuff as well, like finances and investments and stuff, which is another thing. But that's where the kind of ethos of the business came from.
And when did that kind of like come around? So when you saw this picture and gave you that idea of 70-30, when did that kind of come around? Were you already a PT before you?
This was like when I very first started my Instagram page. So 4 years ago, I wasn't doing PT. I was in the gym. I was obviously training and enjoying training and eating, but I wasn't thinking of a business at that point. I was just thinking of, hey, make a cool Instagram page and just document my journey. So yeah, that's where it all kind of came from.
No, wicked, man. So again, leading on to social media and your Instagram. So if anyone follows Simon on Instagram, you know each day your stories are very, very long, but very informative, full of content. You post at least one story, one post a day. Like, so let's go from like, how do you stay consistent like every day? Like, how do you find the time? Because you're a PT, online coach, you have all these things going on. Firstly, how do you stay consistent every day? And then does it feel like natural now?
I think a lot of it comes from, I don't like not doing something. So a lot of my posts I will write as I'm like walking to a client's house. If I ever have to do cardio, which is not in the off season, but if I'm doing cardio, I'll be making posts, writing out posts, editing pictures, whatever. And then also, like, my whole page was a diary, really. So I would put up, in my prep, I was super regimented with it, and you create your own little bits of OCD, especially in prep. But in my prep, I would put up a food post in the morning, then a training post during the middle of the day, and then another food post in the evening. And I just quite liked the way that it looked on my page, so I continued doing it. Now I don't put up so much because it was kind of just getting lost. And now I've got over like 4,000 posts on there. So if I post too much, things don't even get seen. So it's like, well, I'll just slow down the amount of post. With like stories and things like that, again, it's like when I'm driving, I wanna be doing something. Obviously, we go hands free now, but if I can put up some bit of information whilst I'm stuck in traffic, I will do. It's like some people will, I don't know, play on like a game or something on their phone to kill time, or some people will read a newspaper to kill time, or a book. I would rather do something which is going to also help my business potentially, you know. And then you've also got to be careful, obviously, with family and friends and girlfriends and stuff, to have a bit of a balance there. But for my girlfriend at the moment, she, I shouldn't say at the moment, should I? That's pretty bad.
For the time being.
She won't see this, don't worry.
No, won't need one.
But my girlfriend, she understands, like, this is part of my business. And I've told her, like, you know, these things help my business. It helps my page grow. It helps interactions with people and potential clients for me. And also, like, I have quite a few friends that follow me on social media, but I don't see throughout my day-to-day life. So it's kind of like also keeping interactive with them as well, especially from competing. I've got a lot of people who I look up to and I would consider a friend, but I've only really spoken to them actually face-to-face on stage or backstage, or, you know, when we come to the auditorium to compete. But it's like we have, you know, a like-minded goal, and so people I compete against are my friends, and I don't really see them because they're all over the country. So it's pretty cool just to be able to do that on social media.
No, wicked, man. And in terms of your posts, so I know with your food and like some of your pictures were so aesthetic. Well, they still are now, but you did a lot of food. Whereas now I've noticed there's a lot more kind of training videos. Even though you're perhaps not in prep and you're not in peak condition, you're still posting them. So what's your kind of like viewpoint on that? Do you, like you said a minute ago, you do like a nutrition, a video, is that like staple? Is that always going to stay consistent?
I like to keep things consistent. Like, I'm a person of routine, so I really enjoy having routine in my life and being able to stick to a certain plan each day. I think a lot of bodybuilders or gym goers like routine. That's part and parcel of what keeps you consistent at your training. But for me, because I don't post so much nutrition or food stuff at the moment, because my food focus is a lot less. Like, when you're in prep and you're trying to squeeze out every bit of macros, trying to fit something in, your food focus is a lot higher. So I'm like, I'll take a little bit more time with placing stuff on the plate and stuff like that, and I'll make sure it looks nice. But like, I mean, today it's not really aesthetic, so I'm not really got the picture there. We got couscous, muscle food sausages and beans. Like, it's nothing aesthetic about that because my food focus is down there, but my training focus is up there, which is why I'm getting more posts on of training and things like that. One thing you touched on a little bit was about posting when you're not in peak condition and stuff. I think part of social media, people love to see like the shredded physique and things. It interests them. It's more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. But I posted like a video of me in my probably the fattest I'm going to get this off season. Just some very simple poses. And that got a lot of interactions, got a lot of people talking on it and a lot of views on it. And that for me kind of shows that people are just more interested in your journey rather than just the shredded physique. Yeah. So if people can invest in your journey and they're like, okay, I'd quite like to see what he looks like on stage now that he's got to this in his off season, will he be able to do this on stage? People like to see a journey, like to join along and see the process.
Yeah. I get that completely, and I think with your following, like you've built your Instagram page like quite a few years ago, people followed your journey so far, so I think it's quite interesting. Like they're going to see, and myself as well, I'm going to see exactly what you're doing off season, and then when you do, we'll touch on that in a minute, but when you do compete next, they're going to see, okay, that's how he got to that stage, and not because of the 16 weeks or however long you prep for, it's the long off season that you went for. So spot on, mate. In terms of actual posts, so when I first started like in the fitness industry, like just over a year ago, I remember like because we didn't have Wi-Fi when I moved to Chelmsford, so I used to sit in Costa and I used to sit there for ages like thinking, oh my god, what am I going to post today? Like, and I have to go on my notes and like write out everything, and that's such an old school time wasting like moment, like whereas I don't do that now. So what would you say to someone that wants to start an Instagram page, or they're just getting into the fitness industry, they want to promote more like fitness content? What would you suggest to them when they want to post either story or post?
Do something that you have interest in, make a journey out of it, and don't be a kiss ass. Like a lot of people, you'll see them like they'll start posting this supplement and they're like, I really love this supplement. It tastes awesome and it gives me a great workout. Please sponsor me. Like it's like they're just trying too hard for it. Like obviously you've got to promote a product and the company's got to see that you're going to be able to work for them, for you to work with a company. But don't. It gets on my nerves. It must get on other people's nerves when people are like parading supplements around just to try and get sponsored by them. So don't be a kiss ass to companies. Do make sure that it's something that actually interests you, and you're not doing it just to try and create a following or make some money. And put your own little twist on it, like put your own style on it. A lot of people just you can look at the generic fitness page and it's the same. So do stuff which you enjoy and make it your own.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that completely, and yeah, like you said, as a personal trainer or online coach, each person's going to be individual. So your Instagram, your social media is going to be exactly the same. In terms of social media, like what do you kind of use? So you have Instagram, YouTube. What other platforms do you use, and why?
I have Twitter. I don't really use it. I just share to Twitter. So if maybe someone clicks on the Twitter link, they can go and see my posts. But I very rarely use Twitter. I very rarely isolate my Facebook. Like it's just shared posts from my Instagram. So Instagram's my main like portal, and it sends stuff out to other places like Facebook, Twitter. YouTube, I need to get back on my YouTube game a little bit more, but I've got quite a few videos on there, and I think I've got about 3,300 subs, but I haven't really touched it in a while, so I should get back on there. What other social media do I use? I think that's it. I don't use Snapchat. Snapchat's dead to me, really, ever since Instagram brought out their stories. That's it. One thing I would say, if you're trying to grow your Instagram, is interact with people as well. Like, that's one thing that the algorithm on Instagram really likes. Also, do your research. Like, have a look at what the algorithm on Instagram actually helps with your promoting the post. So if you reply to comments within the hour, that's going to boost your post. If you go onto other people's pages with like-minded subjects and interact with them, that's also going to boost your post as well. Interacting with people and just having an odd comment will probably mean that they'll click on your profile, have a look at you. If they like you, they'll probably follow you. What else? Put an Instagram story of your post in your story, because a lot of people, it won't show up on their feed. So if you want people to see it, put it on your story, because people will generally see those more. Yeah,
in terms of your stories, like from Monday to Sunday, do you find like you have like more viewers on a particular day, or like when you post a certain post, for example, do you get more views on your stories? Like,
yeah, yeah, I'd say like majority of the time, if I put up like one of my pictures in prep or one of my model shoot photos, the views tend to go up. You know, that just makes sense. Like, a lot of the time, I think my like highest interaction day is Friday and Saturday, which also makes sense. And oddly a Monday, I think, as well. But if you put up posts consistently on days, you'll have people that consistently are on Instagram at those days as well. It used to be that like time was a big factor of when you posted. Like everyone would press the upload button at 6 o'clock so everyone could see it. But then the problem was everybody was posting then, so
it would just go down to the bottom.
You just fly down to the bottom anyway. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of little tricks that you can do. Just do some research and have a look at what the algorithm's doing. They change it every now and again.
No, yeah, agreed. And just be consistent, like something that I've really tried to do and implement into my social media is to be consistent as possible, provide different value, not like the same. Some things stay the same, like I always post like my pre-workout or my morning food, like that just stays the same because you still get questions saying like, oh, what is that? I know like AJ Morris and people like that always have questions like, what's in the oat bowl and things
what's
like
in the oat,
but it's true, but like, that stays staple, but then other things just come in and just stay consistent.
And show your face, like talk to the camera, because people find a face to be able to talk to a lot more approachable than a bowl of oats. So if you want people to interact with you, which is going to make your posts show a lot more, be a person that they can talk to. Yeah.
No, I agree. And then last kind of question I want to touch on is relationship. So the girlfriend you're with at the moment.
She's gonna kill me for that,
yeah. So you said before that you've been together 10 months, was it? So you haven't done a prep with her, or she hasn't gone through a prep with you. So firstly, how do you manage both a relationship and training, and kind of we'll do social media in a minute, but how do you manage both, like sort of relationship and training?
Yeah. Well, again, like, I think I'm fairly fortunate in that she understands my business, and she understands that obviously training and gym is something that I enjoy and care about a lot. So for me, I'm in a position where she understands, so it's quite easy for me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be training today at this time, and she'll be like, okay, I'll go and do something else. You know, it works. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty lucky in this relationship. But I could go really deep on my other prep, or my very first prep, and then the next prep. So 2 preps. I was in a 4-year relationship, which just ended awfully. And it was a bit of everything really, but I don't think the prep helped. And there is times, I think, when you go for any prep, you learn how to manage things. But regardless of that, you're still going to be a bit of a dick in prep. You're still going to have short temper. No matter how much you love this person, you're still going to have a short temper. You're still going to be hangry, and your energy is going to be low. Your libido is going to be low or non-existent. And so all of those things add up in a relationship, especially, you know. But for my last prep, I wasn't in a relationship, and again, that's probably why it was my easiest prep I've ever had. My sex focus was zero, flat line. I could have probably been I could have just been a Ken doll and just walked around like a Ken doll. It was like you just get that low in body fat and energy. You're not even interested in anything. So yeah, I mean, it took me.
Oh, that's funny, man. Go on, sorry.
It took me a while, after prep, to even become interested in anything like that. I think not even till December. I wasn't even, and I finished my prep in October. So that's a little while.
Wow.
But yeah, prep isn't a good thing for a relationship. But if you come out of it on the other end, you're pretty solid, you know.
Yes, I agree. So how are you going to approach we'll quickly touch on when you're next going to potentially compete, and so how are you going to approach that? How long is your prep probably going to be, and does your partner, the one that you're with at the moment, does she does she know what's in store basically?
So the show coming up is 2020. I'm not sure which shows I'm going to be doing entirely yet. I'm probably not going to do a PCA again, as I went into that and I was just in the shadows. I'd have to put on a lot of size to be able to go and compete against those boys. But so probably won't do a PCA. I might do UK DFBA, UK UP, and UK BFF. But I'm thinking about UK BFF, and that's 2020. So my approach, I mean, I've already kind of spoken to my girlfriend about what it's like when you're in prep, and she kind of understands, but she doesn't understand, if you know what I mean. So I've said, you become very aggy a lot of the time, you're very low in energy, libido is low, all of those things. And she was like, oh, okay, okay. She's kind of just acknowledging it. But I was like, if it gets to that point and we're in prep and we're in a relationship, it's not just me that's in prep, it's both of us pretty much. So yeah, it's a lot of commitment on the girls' end as well.
It's one of those things that when you probably tell them, they're like, oh yeah, thinking it's gonna be like a 5 minute drop. They don't realise it's like a 24 hour. You're still moving when you're asleep. That kind of.
It'll be just for a week or something. No. This is weeks, months.
Going back to kind of your prep and stuff. So if you do a 16-week prep or whatever however long time to go you do, when does that kind of kick in for yourself? So when does that kind of I want to say agginess, kind of you're a bit snappy. When does that kick in for yourself?
So this last year, I started prepping in June for my August show, and I would say I was pretty good all the way through June, all the way through the beginning half of July, and then things started to come down a little bit, but over the most part I was alright. Then coming, the show was in the middle of August, so I think the beginning of August, that was where I was, snappy. And then when I was going through show to show, just don't talk to me. It's a bad idea. Especially that window post training. Oh man, if I come in the door and she's there as well, and I'm just I need to shower and eat, and eating's a priority now. So just don't talk to me for about an hour. Yeah. That's the hardest bit when you're going from show to show, and you're staying at that body fat percentage. You're not really changing your body too much, but you're in that state of just low body fat, low testosterone, just rock bottom kind of thing. Yeah.
And in terms of your social media with your girlfriend at the moment, because that's something that I'm trying to deal with myself, is trying to find that balance from being consistent, what we spoke about earlier, and then still actually being in the room, because I think that's sometimes the problem. I'm there, but I'm not there. I'm still on social media. like, does she kind of understand, and how do you balance that the most?
So I think the best thing at the moment, the best thing that Instagram came out with was saving posts as drafts. Now, I utilize that quite a lot, especially on like days where we're going to be going out or something. I'll have like 4 or 5 Instagram posts saved. So if I need to post something, or if I haven't gone, I don't need to post anything, but if I haven't gone a long time without posting something, and we hop into Wi-Fi and she goes to the loo, done. You know, it's like
Just like that,
yeah, it's not really like, and then like you're still talking to her, you're still in the room, kind of as you said. There's no real drop in interaction or anything there. The only bad side of doing that is you can't interact with people that have interacted with your post within that hour, because probably you're eating a meal or something like that, so you can't get your phone out or down underneath the desk like you do at school.
Yeah, you're trying to listen to them. Yeah. It's like
just scrolling through them like but I mean, it has come up before in like conversation. She's like, "Oh, why have you got your phone out?" And I was like, "I just quickly posting this." And like, of course, it gets on her nerves sometimes. There's stuff that she does that gets on my nerves. You know, it's just part of a relationship.
Yeah, no, I get that completely. But yeah, cool, man. So basically, what I do at the end of these podcasts, just answer a few questions that I asked on my Instagram. The first one we actually did just answer. So how do you stay consistent with social media daily? We've kind of touched on that quite a lot. This one's completely different. So this one says, advice for people who maybe are intimidated by the gym. So yeah,
that's a really good question. And actually, one of my close friends, I've been asking him to go to the gym for years, and he finally started going to the gym. And he said to me the other day, he was like, "I just like going when it's quiet." I was like, that's fine. And he's like, "It's because people, if I'm doing something and somebody else is doing something heavier, I don't feel bad." But I said to him, it was like, unless like there's like the odd occasional douchebag, but majority of people go into the gym for themselves. They're going in to train, to improve their body, or just to stay healthy. Nobody's going into the gym to look at you. Nobody's going into the gym to go and point at somebody and say, "I lift heavier than you." Like, it's obviously going to be down to everybody, and I can understand that it's a environment where people would feel a little bit anxious because, you know, you're wearing potentially tight clothes or whatever, and you're lifting and exposing your weaknesses in public. But, you know, doesn't that just make you stronger? You know, and if something scares you, why should that mean that you shouldn't do it? You know, take the risk. What's the worst that could happen? You know, someone comes up to you and tells you you're fat, and you're like, "That's why I'm here." You know.
Yeah, I agree, and definitely with what you said about kind of like egos, and there might be a few douchebags, but I think a lot of people get a misconception when you go into a gym and you've got someone quite focused, and straight away some people might think, "Oh, he's arrogant, he's cocky," but what he's actually doing is, like you said, he or she, sorry, they're going for a particular goal, they're doing what they want to do. So my advice would be just listen to music, get the music in. And
my main reason for listening to music is so I don't hear myself. Like, I don't want to hear myself grunting and things like that. Just, if you're feeling really self-conscious, put your music in, put a jumper on, put some baggy clothes on, just go into the gym and enjoy yourself. Like, it's a playground at the end of the day. It's just an adult playground.
And it's one of those things, the more times you do it, like, if you kind of tiptoe into it, like, you might go one day and you might leave it for 3 days and go back into it. You just stay consistent over a few weeks, you'll actually get used to it. It's like anything, isn't it? That's new.
Exactly.
So.
And like, again, there's still, even if you feel all of those things are too big of a factor, there's always a time of the day where there's nobody in the gym. Like, I've got a guy who has just come off being incredibly anorexic, and we've built him up over a long period, but he's gotten a lot better, like a lot healthier relationship with food. And one of the things around anorexia is you have a lot of like anxiety, and you're just worried about what people think. He goes to the gym at 3 in the morning, Like this kid goes to the gym at 3 in the morning and then goes and does the rest of his stuff in the day, goes to college and all this kind of stuff. And like at the beginning when I was like, dude, just prioritize your sleep. And he's like, it's fine, I'll just go to bed earlier. So he still gets his sleep in, but he's going to the gym at 3 in the morning just because that's his time. That's when he feels most comfortable. So yeah.
There's always a way around it.
There's always a way.
That's it, man. And last question I'll ask is, which I think I might know the answer to this one. If you weren't a PT, what would you be doing?
Yeah, so as we said at the beginning, I'd probably be a fireman. Like, that was one of the jobs which I really enjoyed doing, and I was doing that. So if I hadn't, all the PT stuff hadn't come in, I probably would have been a fireman.
What do you miss the most about it, would you say?
Buzz. You know, as soon as you jump in the engine, the lights are going off, and you have the call coming in, all that adrenaline starting pumping through your body, and also the feeling of like satisfaction of helping people as well. Yeah.
No, wicked, man. And for myself, it'd probably be, I was training to become a teacher, so it'd probably be that. Even though I don't know, I don't know if I would have stuck at that, even if.
What subject would you teach?
Well, the thing is, it was a primary school, so they have to do like all of them. But I reckon I would have gone more into like the PE sport route. But yeah, I'm not very good at English. Probably not. Definitely not English.
I'm not good at English either. Dyslexic.
Like that's the thing. I thought I was good at maths, but even some of the kids I taught were probably better at maths than me. So it's a good job I got out of it.
Kids getting smarter though. Kids getting loads smarter. All the technology sucking it up, man.
That's it, mate. Exactly. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on, mate. And
no problem.
Hopefully 2020, that's gonna be your year. So now, really excited for you, mate. And like I said, like if you don't follow Simon, like drop and follow. Just learn, soak up what he does. If you're either a PT online coach or if you just want to be like a competitive bodybuilder, men's physique athlete, whatever, that's the best thing to do. Like there's a certain amount of people that I follow on Instagram that each day I'll make sure I watch their stories, I read their posts, because you just learn so much, and Simon's one of those guys. So that was quite cute, wasn't it? Actually,
yeah, it was.
But that's what it is. And if you want to learn, you learn from people that are above you and doing well. So drop Simon a follow and be sure to check him out. On that note, thank you very much, mate.
And hit that subscribe button for Nathan.
Yeah, I'm probably lagging, aren't I?
You get there, bro. You get there.
I'll get there, man. But yeah, no, nice one, dude. Thanks so much.
No worries, man. Take it easy.